Not sure what's up with that. Okay, it was kind of freaking out. Now it stopped. Is that because my mouse is hovering over it? The Threat Founder says he would erase franchise reboots and redo the Star Wars sequel trilogy if he ran a studio. I can, yeah. I would certainly erase it, that's for damn sure. Suggests woke culture and pandering has limited impact on LGBT mental health and suicide rates. Oh, well. You know, I've been wondering for a while now. It's like, when did we decide that we had to see ourselves in every fucking character? Like, who are these people that, oh, I can't relate to this character because they're not exactly like me. They don't share my exact sexuality and my exact... Why do you care? Why can't you just shut up and enjoy it if it's a good story? I mean, if it's a bad story, then I can kind of understand not being able to enjoy it, but there you go. Okay. Anyway, let's get into this. No Time to Die star Daniel Craig, or however the hell you're supposed to pronounce it. People complain about the way Americans pronounce that. Says he goes to gay bars in order to avoid the aggressive dick wagging, or dick swinging, pardon me, in hetero bars. Really? Somehow I suspect that he is going to the gay bars because of maybe it's not aggressive, I don't know, but probably it has something to do with dick. But hot off his final adventure as James Bond in No Time to Die, actor Daniel Craig has revealed that he prefers going to gay bars rather than general drinking establishments because it allows him to avoid the aggressive dick swinging found in hetero bars. Interesting. I mean, I don't generally go to bars at all. I mean, it's a waste of money. I mean, look, if you go to a bar, any bar basically, you're paying for the ambiance, and if you really like the ambiance, then okay, fine, fair enough. You can like the ambiance, and you can enjoy it, and you can enjoy paying for it. I don't think much of the ambiance of any bar that I've ever been to. I don't give a shit about the ambiance. So if I want to drink, it's like I'm going to go to an off-premise establishment, buy a 6-pack, a 12-pack, whatever the fuck it is that I want, and then I'm going to go home or go someplace else. There are restaurants around that allow you to bring your own alcohol if they don't have the necessary license to sell you anything. And then it's like I paid regular retail for whatever I bought to drink instead of having to pay out the ass. It's like, I mean, I don't know for sure. It's like I don't keep track of what the prices are in bars now, but not that long ago, you could expect to pay, I don't know, 3 or 4 times as much for beer in a bar as, at a convenience store or liquor store or something. So you're definitely paying for, again, the ambiance, but if you don't care about that, then it's a massive waste of fucking money. As far as the new James Bond film, I have not seen it. I'm not going to see it. I mean, I will eventually probably watch it, but I'm not gonna rush out to see it anytime soon. I'll wait till it's on TV or something. Probably, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna purchase it. Like I'll let somebody else do that, and then I'll just watch it with them. It's just, I have heard plenty of things about it. Sounds like it fucking sucks. Not as bad apparently as many people were fearing a year or two ago, but still kind of sucks. I'm sure that there are some things that have kind of maybe, you know, kind of. There's some things that have happened in the long history of Bond films that it would be very easy to say that, well, none of them really fit together because they're, et cetera, et cetera. But I still think that largely, you got you got Sean Connery, and then you got whoever that guy was that did the one-off movie. Um, he was Bond just one time, and then you got Roger Moore, and then you got, was it just two films with Timothy Dalton? Um, and it was one of those, wasn't it, where Felix Leiter's character gets killed off? Um, and obviously, uh, the first three Bonds, dealt with, Spectre and Blofeld, and then got rid of him and did other things afterwards. And then and then you had, of course, four films. Yeah, four films with Pierce Brosnan, and there were ups and downs probably in all of those, and some of them were campier than others, and so on and so forth. But I think they were generally all enjoyable, and I think that for the most part, they could all be said. Even the one-off film, I can't remember which one it is. Was it Never Say Never Again? Is that the one where it was kind of like unofficial or whatever? Sean Connery came back and did another Bond film, except it's not like supposedly officially part of the series of Bond films, because it's a different production company. So I don't know how the legalese of that works, but I believe that happened in the 80s, and but it was good. It's like, as far as I know, all of those, including that one, essentially could be said to fit into the same continuity. Whereas, I don't think that the same can really be said of the Daniel Craig films, because you get, essentially you're getting a reset, because Casino Royale is the first film that he did, and they didn't actually ever do that one, I think, because they didn't have the rights to it. Somebody else did, and so somebody else did a Casino Royale movie back in the day. But I guess they finally got the rights to that or whatever, so they, made that the first Craig Bond film. Anyway, so in many respects, and I think that's supposed to be like in the books or whatever, wasn't that like the first Bond adventure, So Daniel Craig's run as Bond is not really like, it's not part of the same continuity as all the other Bonds. It's essentially a reboot, because there's one element, and that's Judi Dench as M, that you're kind of keeping from the Pierce Brosnan years, and so maybe it kind of feels like there's a little bit of continuity there, but mostly there's not, because, like I said, you're doing the first adventure, of Bonds and Casino Royale, and you're not really acknowledging anything that came before, and Felix Leiter is suddenly, you're meeting him for the first time, and obviously, like I said, he's not dead, because he was killed off back in... he was killed off back with Timothy Dalton. And obviously, it's like Spectre or whatever is back, and there's no acknowledgement that you've had to deal with them before. And Blofeld's back, and there's no acknowledgement of you having met or dealt with him before. So essentially, the Daniel Craig run as Bond has all been a reboot. It's all been a different continuity. So, I would consider the original continuity to be the one that's worthwhile, and Daniel Craig's Bond films, it's like, watch them if you want. I mean, there's definitely some fun action sequences and whatnot, but like, but like viewing it, it's like, I don't know, it's like people who believe that, Star Wars is ruined because Disney did their trilogy. It's like, I can enjoy the original trilogy, just fine. The little edits that George Lucas continually did to those made them less watchable, because he didn't want to give anybody the original restored version or whatever, and wanted to keep on making a little edit here and a little edit there and fucking everything up. It's like that was more damaging to the enjoyment of the original trilogy than anything that Disney has done or will do, because I can easily just ignore Disney shit and be like, that's bullshit. That's not real Star Wars. So, anyway, sorry, just had to just had to get that off my chest, talking about that. It's like there's been a lot of talk of how it's ruined Bond or whatever. It's like, nah, it didn't. Not really. Now, it's like there's nothing about. I mean, do I particularly like Daniel Craig's Bond? No. It's like he's probably the least favorite of all my of all the Bond actors for me. Has anything that he's done in any way ruined my enjoyment of Sean Connery or Roger Moore or Pierce Brosnan or anybody else? No, it hasn't. It's like I still go back and watch those movies and enjoy them just as much as I did before. Anyway, speaking with Palm Restaurant Group Executive VP Bruce Bozzi, whatever, on the latest episode of his SiriusXM radio show Lunch with Bruce, Craig disclosed that he has, quote, been going to gay bars for as long as I can remember, unquote. Okay. According to the Bond star, one of the reasons he prefers gay bars is because he does not get into fights in gay bars that often. Are there really a lot of fights that go down in bars? I mean, I know that in entertainment that's often shown to be how things are, but as far as I'm aware, the vast, vast majority of the time, there are no fights in the bars around here. I mean, every now and then I hear about, one, but it's pretty fucking rare. Most people are capable of behaving themselves, even while at least somewhat intoxicated. Plus, that's why there are bouncers. It's like somebody tries to start shit, you throw them the fuck out. Anyway, which he attributes to the lack of aggressive dick swinging found in hetero bars. I just got very sick of it as a kid, because it was like, I don't want to end up eating in a punch-up. Is that like British expressionism? That's like a British expression, maybe. It doesn't really translate. And I did, he added. Okay. I'm assuming that this is basically him saying he didn't want to end up losing a fight. Is that what that means? Oh, there you go. No Time to Die review. A monotonous poor Spyfell. Okay. That would happen quite a lot, claimed Craig. And the gay bar would just be a good place to go. Everybody was chill. Everybody. You didn't really have to sort of state your sexuality. It was okay. And it was a very safe place to be. Oh my, we must have our safe spaces. He then clarified, and I could meet girls there, because there are a lot of girls there for exactly the same reason I was there, admitting that meeting these women was kind of an ulterior motive for his visits to gay bars. Sure it was. Press X to doubt. Oh my. During the same appearance, Greg also opened up on the 2010 evening when he was caught kissing another man. The openly gay Bozzy, whatever, himself, in fact, in a California bar. Really. As he recalled how, we had a good time. The band was playing. Then somebody else asked me if I was your manager, and I yelled at him because I was like, what do you mean, his manager? Uh, in reply, Craig asserted, "For me, it was one of those situations, and the irony is, we kind of got caught, I suppose, which was kind of weird because we were doing nothing fucking wrong." Okay. Uh, what happened is we were having a nice night, and I kind of were talking to you about my life when my life was changing, and we got drunk, and I was like, "Oh, let's just go to a bar. Come on, let's fucking go out," said the actor. And I just was like, "I know, don't give a fuck, and we're in Venice? Okay. Okay." Craig also noted that the California spirit was what enticed him to move from England to America, telling what the commie spirit tell telling Bozzy that said spirit is like, "Fuck it, everything's fine, don't worry about it." So is that the California spirit? Is that what things are like in California, and that's why everything is so shit there? Why there's commies in charge of it, and why they've run everything into the ground? It's because everybody's just like, fuck it, everything's fine. Yeah, that's a great way to behave. We see those results, don't we? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about. We got your back, right? Everybody's in. There's something magical about it, and that was there that night. Oh God. What do you make of Craig's preference for gay bars? Uh, Sounds pretty gay. Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments below. Oh, do we dare? Do we dare go into the comments? I think we can steer clear of the comments section. Well, the comment section on here, but feel free to drop some comments on the video and let me know what you think of this. I don't give a shit. It's like, the thing for me is that there's a lot of indications that, and Daniel Craig's not like a spring chicken. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. He's not like really old, but he's not really young either. There sure is a sort of a generational divide there where I think older, and it's like he might be in just the right old enough age group for it to apply to him, but mostly it's like guys that are older than him. Um, there's plenty of them that are probably gay, and yet they will not admit it, even though that probably a bunch of people on the left would be clapping for them and whatnot if they came out. They like, well, okay, here's a case in point. Lindsey Graham, he claims to be straight. Does anybody really believe that? I mean, he seems really fucking gay. But and no one would care. It's like he could come out and I don't think anyone would care. They might care that he'd lied about it for so long, but especially when it was so fucking obvious. But they wouldn't be like, "Oh, well, he's a dirty fag and therefore we don't want to." It's like nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to give a shit about that. But still, it's like he's not going to admit it. And the same thing is happening here with Daniel Craig. It's like, seems pretty clear from this. I mean, sure, is it conclusive? No. It's merely circumstantial. But like the title of the video says, it's like he doth protest too much. It's like he's trying to pass it off as not an interest in cock himself. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure that you're interested in cock, dude. And that's okay. It's like, it doesn't matter. It's like, you can be gay. No, it's like the circles you move in, people are going to congratulate you for it. And the rest of us are not going to fucking care one way or the other. But he won't admit it. There's suspicion that certain older individuals you know, you know, might be gay. General Mattis, for instance, there's rumors that he's gay. You know, he's a that he's a quote unquote secret homosexual. And possibly he's even been was even being blackmailed a little bit because of it or something. It's like that's it. If it's that's the thing. Isn't it interesting that people can potentially blackmail you for something that there's no reason to accept being blackmailed for, because it's not really a problem, it's not really embarrassing, etc., etc., but because you apparently want to keep it a secret, for maybe because you personally believe that it's somehow embarrassing or whatever, then yeah, it becomes a vulnerability to you, even though logically it shouldn't be. I don't know, just kind of interesting, I think. Uh anyway, I'm betting that he's gay. I'm betting he likes cock, and I don't care. It's like I wouldn't give a shit if he was openly gay and had been from the beginning. Who gives a shit? I mean, my disliking him as Bond, not that I hate him as Bond, I just, he's just my least favorite. But that has nothing to do with, whether or not he's gay or anything else. A lot has been made also recently of the talk of how there, people are fearful, I guess, that the next James Bond may be, a person of color, because they're just going to insist on some kind of, diversity hire or whatever. Obviously, I'm not in favor of race swapping characters or any such thing, just on general principle. I do think it's interesting, though, that probably the one guy that I can think of, at least off the top of my head, that if they had simply, if he'd simply showed up as Bond, maybe instead of Daniel Craig, for instance, I probably wouldn't have had a problem with it, and that's Idris Elba. It's like, he is, I believe, been quoted as saying he doesn't want to be known as Black James Bond. And it's like, yeah, except you're like the one dude that I can think of offhand that, that if you'd stepped in that role, I would have been willing to overlook the race swapping of the character. I would have been like, oh, well, I like Idris Elba, he's good, so yeah, fuck it. It's like, let's go with this. He's not exactly a spring chicken either, though, is he? At this point, like, I mean, you got to balance that. You got to balance hiring a really accomplished actor who's good in the role with hiring somebody who's still young enough to be believable as the action star that's going to be doing all this intense shit. I have no idea, and there's no telling. The next Bond might be a woman, Jane Bond. I don't know. Although they probably couldn't do that, because aren't there some porno films or something that already have that trademark? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where it's gonna go. I don't know what they're gonna do next. They could surprise us all by, again. It's like I have no fucking clue who to suggest right now for an actor, but they could surprise us all by, just hiring an extremely, British, an extremely traditional white British dude who's super straight. It's like they could surprise us all by just hiring the in the minds of the entertainment industry least diverse person that they could find, and it's like, oh my god, he's amazing as Bond. And it's not impossible that they could hire somebody quote unquote diverse or whatever, and it would still be good. It's possible. Is it likely? No, because it's not. It's again, it's not about the whole business of, oh, because it's diverse, it's absolute garbage. It's not because of that. It's because when they focus on that, that's where their priorities are. That's what they're shooting for, and that is, that's an indication that quality of the story and everything else is going to start dropping off because that's not what's being prioritized. The creators are prioritizing diversity for the sake of diversity, and so, you're going to get less and less quality, just as a general rule. Oh well. All right. Until the next one.